The clownery, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. I think it's way too close. I'm not going to sit here if you're expecting, me to lie as speculation and be like, well, this is what anybody who thinks that they know what's going to happen in Virginia is an idiot. It's not going to happen. You can there isn't even precedent. It's just a weird time. We've had 5 really weird years of politics, and there's nothing, there really isn't a trend on this. Everyone who's going to sit here and try to argue otherwise, they're just doing that because they want to get on TV and they want a contributorship deal. And they're going to make up all this stuff. And then when everything happens that's contrary to that, then we're going to have this whole, the polls and other people, blah, 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 and it's going to be mass chaos. It's just not like that. Well, I tell you what, though. Virginia is not, it's not a total Democrat state, but it's not a Republican state either. It really isn't. It's pretty purpley. And on the outskirts, I got friends who live there. I get it. The outskirts is very much, is pretty Republican, but there's not, it's really, there's a lot of, there's a lot of Democrats there. So it's really, but there are Democrats that are there. There's some moderates, but there's some Democrats that are just, like Azra Namani, who are just tired of all this garbage that's being shoved onto kids through schools. I'm just fascinated. It's going to be a very interesting race. Now, I know there are a lot of municipal races elsewhere, and if you don't get out and vote in your school board race, you don't get to complain about CRT or anything anymore. I have the highest contempt for people who don't vote. Oh, well, no, and you can say you don't trust elections and all of that. Yes, there absolutely is voter fraud. I don't deny that. It's also super decentralized, and so it can't be wide scale across the country. It's almost, and that's why do you think Democrats want to nationalize voting so bad? If they get to nationalize voting, then hell yes, it would be a lot easier. Why do you think they want to federalize it so bad? That's why I've been screaming about this since the election. Yes, absolutely, voter fraud exists. But to do it across the country, I think people love, yes, you can pay people off and it's incredibly corrupt, but also people love being like the heroes too. So they'll totally get paid off for engaging in some kind of corrupt behavior, but then they'll totally get paid again by betraying the people who paid them originally, and then they'll look like heroes. I promise you. I've had somebody who has been illegally registered to vote at my address. So yeah, I can talk a lot about voter fraud. So get out and vote in your municipal elections. Do you realize the reason Georgia went the way it did is because a lot of people, especially the special election, not even a third of the people who voted in 2020 came out in the special election. And that was in some of the most conservative districts in Georgia, like Marjorie Taylor Greene's area. You guys know that, right? Because I was looking at all the data. I was looking at the raw data from the Secretary of State's website and looking at the number of people who came out and voted then as opposed to 2020, and I was shocked. Same thing in my town, in Southlake. You know the reason why Beto O'Rourke took one of the most conservative counties in Texas over Ted Cruz is because maybe 40-something% of Republicans showed up to vote. No joke. Oh, I've seen. I know what the numbers are because I've seen them. All this stuff is publicly available for your viewing at your Secretary of State's website. You can see everything. Our state has a way where you can check and look at people and see who's registered, who's current with registration and who isn't. So you can't tell how people voted, but you can tell whether or not they're registered. So you got to get out and vote. Otherwise, what's the point of any of this? All the people who are like, well, if it comes down to a civil conflict, hell, and no civil conflict. You ain't even people come out and vote. You can't get out and vote. You can't do anything harder than that.